Hello, hello. Good afternoon, good morning, good night, whenever, wherever that you may be listening to the live stream. This is Yonks, and this is our Gigs Go Green with Tri-Co-op STO working group, where we're coming together and we're actively building for the HeroX Community Energy Innovation Prize. And I've got several people with me. As always, Mrs. Yonks, most of the time anyway. Thank you for all that you do. We've got Nick, we've got Sean, Christian, and Double D. Good afternoon, everybody. But we've got a lot to do today. So on the screen right now, this is something that we'll come back to here in a minute, but this is what we're going to be talking most about. This is what we've got a timeline for. But getting over here to Notion, this is the tool that we use for organizing all the stuff that we're building. And I'm going to scroll down here to the agenda. So one of the things that I want to put out real quick is that we are still accepting new teammates for this HeroX Community Energy Innovation Prize. I'm not going to go into details, but if you would like to book a time on my calendar, there's a link here on our agenda where you can do that as well, because we've got until February the 2nd to get our narrative finalized. Gigs Go Green, a movement for gig workers to take action and go green. So we were having a little bit of conversation on our previous office hours about another HeroX, the Center for Purpose and Performance Prize. And I'm actually going to slide this down from an agenda standpoint, because this is the one that I want to spend most of the time about, because the Center for Purpose and Performance Prize, real quick, just from a timeline standpoint, and let me actually just throw this real quick on here since it's something that we've talked about a couple times. So the deadline for it is February the 15th. This is the HeroX Center for Performance Prize. So from a timeline standpoint, that's when that narrative would be due. I think that there's a huge opportunity. We've already been talking about collecting information and getting feedback from our gig workers that we're going to be bringing into this movement that we're creating with Gigs Go Green. So like I said, we'll come back and talk about that later. Wanting to talk about right now, and let me go back to this page real quick over here. I'm going to bring this timeline on, and I got an email. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to show the email here right now. But one of the things that the email communicated is that the timeline had changed a little bit. And I was talking to Tyler offline about that, and I can kind of understand why, because they were talking about doing the KYC, know your customer, know your business on the front side. And this first portion of this prize community contest is really to shortlist. And I don't know, has anybody else on the call today you heard of Joke Race? And I'll put it in. It's jokerace.xyz. So, and I'm gonna take a look here and see if Discord got updated real quick. So Joke Race is the platform that this contest is going to be facilitated in. And I was listening to a podcast with David Phelps, and the thing, from what I understand, is it's a tokenless form of, basically like it's a contest type of thing. So I don't know exactly what this is going to look like. So one of the things that was wanting to talk about here, and there's two portions of this contest, and I think that we can architect Gigs Go Green to be a primary benefactor for this biddle on Polygon. And I'm not sure, it doesn't really say within the terms here of how many communities or projects are going to get shortlisted during this community contest phase. And as far as I know, this timeline hasn't been updated. But like I said, I just got an email last night or within the last day or two on that. And so right now the thoughts is to put together a question, and let me open this up in a window here for everybody. Question.com. Quest to earn. And this is a way that I could see that we could create a series, and this is something that several of us were looking at a couple years or a year ago, and since then, it used to be Quest 3, and I think I've actually got a page in Notion here. Let me do a search for Quest. Yeah, so it was Quest 3. This is the tools and services database in Notion. And this is something that we were looking at using when we were talking about BMT guide. Not going to go into detail right now. So this is something that I'm going to update here for Gigs Go Green. So basically what Quest, I would encourage everybody to this is what I would say is really some homework to understand, because the thoughts are here is that we can basically create a journey. And this is one of the things that talking about user journey. And I brought my mermaid.js book here because this is one of the tools that I'm wanting us to use for documenting various things. And it's Mermaid can be used, but anyway, getting back to Quest, and let me see if I'm logged into my MetaMask here. I don't think I am, but so the thoughts are, and this is one of the things that I would kind of like for us to talk about, is we have the opportunity to, with our own bucket of funds, because one of the things that we're talking about is creating a proposal of 2,000 Matic, which is about half of the previous, to basically pay it forward, because what we're wanting to do is to create awareness for Gigs Go Green, with hopefully converting some of these people to onboard into either Tesla Black DAO or become investors through our security token offerings that we're still planning to go live in February, on February 22nd. So I'm going to stop talking and just kind of get some feedback from everybody. Do you remember, Amy or Tyler, when we were talking about Quest 3 previously? I'm not sure if either of them are able to pop into the. Oh, go ahead, Amy. I see you got
I'm
your microphone.
driving, that's why I found it hard to unmute. But anyway, I think we had this conversation before. It's kind of vague for me right now, but moving forward, I think it's a good idea to onboard people incentivized. So I'm all for that.
So yeah, and here's actually the community that we created about this time a year ago when we were looking at doing this for BMT Guide. And basically it's where you can create different steps. Like, think of a quest, and I don't know how many people have played video games that have quests. This is basically like gamifying things where you can reward tokens and provide the opportunities for, like I said, where we can go through and create a user journey. Because one of the things that we're wanting to do with Gigs Go Green is to create a very low barrier of entry for people to enter our DAO ecosystem, get excited about what we're doing, potentially contribute. And this is one of the things that we were talking about, in here on creating a movement. And let me do a search in our how to build a successful movement in 4 steps. This is something that talked about several times on our previous working group, and let me actually just open up this article in a window here. So this is moving up the value, let me see what they call it here. Lower the barrier, flatten the path. So Gigs Go Green is us lowering the barrier to entry our DAO ecosystem. One of the things that we're talking about creating is a DAO membership for Tesla Black that's $69 a year during pre-launch, $97 after we launch. And right now we're still on target for launching January 22nd. So this is what I'm talking about, moving people up the participation scale. And let me make this bigger so that everybody can see this a little better. Let me see if I can just open up this image in a different tab. Okay. So this is what we're talking about, is moving people up the new power behaviors, the participation scale, if you will. So, and like one of the things that we're wanting to do with this question is to, like, the first step is to win like the these two different contests where we were showing on the PDF there for the timeline. Let's see where it's at. So this is the timeline that was talking about. So we need the first step is for us to win the joke race, and then the second step is the most important, because that's where we want to create an incentive. Because like one of the things that, with this being a Matic contest, and this is one of the things that I think is great as far as from an alignment standpoint, is that we can, again, pay it forward on the proposal for basically creating a gamified mechanism to get growth within Gigs Go Green. So one of the things, what if I had to ask everybody here, and what would you say is like the number one thing that we would need to do to demonstrate growth within and traction within our community? And I'll start off here by, and let me create a list over here on this. So getting back, so I'm gonna put in here, question event. So this is, what are the top things we need to do to demonstrate traction? So like follow Gigs Go Green on Twitter. So this is one thought that we can have, and this is a very easy component to do. And this is like, think of having like a checklist where people go through, and I don't know if there's any good quests to look at here. I'll try to find some good examples between now and our next working group. But here's one that would be very easy. And this is something like, just to put it out here, the Twitter account, and I don't know how many people are active on Twitter, but crypto Twitter is very, very real. And I've been on Twitter for over a decade, and it wasn't really until I started getting into Twitter or into crypto did I really start appreciating the value of Twitter and really understanding that. So right now we only have 2 followers. So this is one thing that you can do, is follow our Twitter account. And this is one of the things that I would absolutely love to do as a milestone. And I just want to give a shout out to Amy, because I'm pretty sure that you were the second follower, and I'm going to reciprocate back here. I'm already following you. So, and that's one of the things that, if just to put it out here to everybody that's on the call and the universe at large, is if you want to get involved in social media with the DAO, reach out to me. Immense opportunity. But anyway, So I put the first idea on the board, and who wants to start off with another idea for what we could do in this quest to demonstrate traction for people to join the movement?
One thing I can think of, Yonks, is if we can, a lot of these kind of CRM tools, you can start to build a newsletter list of people who are interested in the technology. If there's a way that we can maybe on a website have a form that directly adds them to our CRM and in HubSpot, something like that, we would be able to start to build a list of gig workers who are interested in participating. And I think that shows immediate and direct traction.
So, and I think that you're absolutely correct. And one of the things here is that this the gig workers are absolutely our primary audience. And the thing about this contest that we're putting forward is that this is more geared for Web3 natives, like anybody in the entire world that's got a Web3 wallet. And this is one of the things that we can control a little bit. But I'm going to put this on the list, form for capturing, and help me get this captured correctly, Nick.
Yeah, form for capturing interested parties or people who want to be maybe who want to be part of a beta into a CRM. So it's a relation management tool, like a customer relationship management tool.
Form for capturing interested, and I'm going to just put people, which feeds into a CRM solution. And I just want to give Nick a shout out for facilitating some side conversations with HubSpot. And this is one of the things that we absolutely need to get some solutions in place. And one of the things, I'm not sure if HubSpot is the right solution and open for discovery. Let me go over here to our tools database in Notion. This is one of the things that is a database that we have in Notion for, like Nick mentioned, HubSpot. Let me just do a real quick search to see if we have HubSpot in here. So I don't. So I'll take this as an action item to make sure that we get this captured. One that I think that we do have in here that's related, and no, I don't even have this one in here. So this is a tool that showed up on my list previously, chasm.xyz. And Chasm is a tool for drive engagement and I can't remember what LTV, long-term value, I think, with a white labeled no code solution. And this is just categorically like a Web3 and growth marketing tool. I think I actually met the co-founder of Chasm here at East Denver, the one most recently in March of 2023. So this is another tool that I'll create. So that's absolutely a fabulous idea. And one of the things, let me go back to that CRM solution, HubSpot, chasm.xyz, etc. So right now, we don't really have any marketing solutions in place. One of the email service providers, and you think MailChimp is one of the strongest players categorically. Tyler and I are personally planning on using Moosin, but I'm not going to deviate for now. I want to capture some more thoughts. So who else, and thanks Nick for this one. Who else wants to chime in on one of the things that we should look at incorporating into our Queston event? And just so that, from what I understand, the event is like a mini project, and we're looking here to do two types of events, because remember, there's two phases in this Polygon. There's the joke race, and then there's the actual where people donate basically Matic, and this is where through quadratic funding, the way that I understand it, the more people that contribute, the more that like amplifies the quadratic funding, and there's 170,000 Maddox that's getting matched through that shortlisted pool of candidates. But anyway, I'm going to go on mute, let somebody else throw in a suggestion here for our things that we need to demonstrate traction during this Queston event.
Yeah, we've talked about how this same thing you're saying about showing traction should be applied as an umbrella to the whole project itself, right? To the interested parties. In this particular case, I would say it applies actually the same way. There's got to be some sort of metric that is relevant to the community that is interested. That it's the most visible way to prove, this is the metric that we proposed that is relevant to everyone, and to see if we are moving that needle along one way or another. There's a lot more into that, but basically I would say that on an interaction level, for people to be interested and then to follow up, that would be the thing, and the question is, what is that metric? How do we know if it's relevant? Do we know what the people interests are? We go back to the empathy map, the iterations on the problem solution fit, and all that stuff.
So how can I best summarize that here so that I ensure that we get this captured correctly, Christian?
Metrics. Or a metric. Like if you were, let's just turn it around. Let's say I am a person that I don't know, let's just build my persona. I work for Twitter. I mean, I work for Uber, and I work for Lyft, and I'm pretty pissed about how much money I'm getting at the end of the day, and they're getting the largest cut, and blah, 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 blah. And so I hear about this. What would be the one metric that communicates to me that this, I mean, and again, I don't know exactly how Queston really works, so I'm just kind of throwing this out there, but how can we make this so it communicates to me that this is actually something gaining traction? It is a question.
Yeah, well, and I think that there's lots of things, and it just depends on what the lens is that we're looking through as far as demonstrating traction. Because like one of the things, and this I'm gonna just kind of bring it back into the underlying here. This is now our 9th working group for creating a narrative to submit for the HeroX Community Energy Innovation Prize. So one of the things that I think the better that we can refine our narrative as far as how that we're actually attempting to engage in the community. Like me, I'm sitting here at a library where we're creating an open invitation that, and this is one of the things that wanting to get better at, creating more invitations for gig workers. And like this I actually think, and I actually just like knowing gig workers and time of day, I actually think like a 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. window is probably the most ideal for gig workers. And if I probably had to even narrow that back to just 1 hour, and this is, and if you didn't all notice, this was a slight change that we made, and this is, we have recognized and appreciate that it's easier for people to commit to a 1 hour type slice of time than a 2 hour slice of time. And this is one of the things that we're going to continue to get feedback from everybody. And this is one of the things that we want to get feedback and create mechanisms for getting feedback. Because like, I think that that's the big opportunity. We talked a little bit about the community for center and purpose, performance and purpose, like getting feedback and then implementing that feedback. But I just want to thank Tyler. I see her real time here. And this is one of the things that I love about having some of the collaborative tools and us getting better at collaborative tools is Tyler. Thank you for all that you do watching our 2.5-year-old, and that's probably why she couldn't vocalize the conversation as
Wondering what happened. Looks like Yonks got DC'd.
am I back?
You're back now. Yep.
That was weird. I don't know if I just lost Wi-Fi here at the library, or yeah, I must be because I'm seeing it connecting. I come to a study room and hope to have good Wi-Fi, and it's still Wi-Fi, and it looks like I might still be frozen because I don't see anybody else on the.
I just want to share, in one of my projects, we have just released our Engage to Earn. We're in a social media where they could like, comment, retweet, share the post that they get tokens for that. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. I think Jason is rugging.
Am I back again? I see thumbs up here on the screen. So hey, I would apologize, but this isn't my Wi-Fi, so it's the Denver Public Library Wi-Fi. So and one of the things, and I can't remember where I was at, but so I see Amy put, or somebody added, I don't know if Amy added this, but engage to earn tokens. And one of the things I'm going to actually add this myself is create a Gigs Go Green video on YouTube. So this is, I don't know, we have, I think, a 3-minute, and I'll have to check. It needs to be three minutes or less, I think is, and what I'm talking about here is the video for the Community Energy Innovation Prize. And I think that, so from, just to kind of like take a step back here, Queston is basically like this framework for providing community builders. And I haven't rolled up my sleeves for quite a while, since like almost a year ago, to see what they have. I believe that they have like over 1,000 different types of like quests that make it easy for community builders such as ourselves to create different like types of checklists. And one of the things that, and I've got this as a bullet point that I haven't even talked about here. So Unlock Protocol is the smart contract framework that we're actually going to be using quite a bit within our entire ecosystem. And one of the things that I think is a very real opportunity, and this is something that I promised that I would do, is let me actually take a look here on Twitter. I'm gonna go off on a tangent a little bit, because this was a fairly fun narrative that was, let me go to some tweets that I had here. So this is one right here. So let me open this one in a new tab, and I'm going to throw this in the Zoom for everybody. because this had an exciting narrative for, let me make this bigger too for, so here was, let me get to this thread right here. So this was a tweet from Unlock Protocol. We've been using Unlock Protocol for over 2 years for projects along the way. And this was a community spotlight that they did for a project. And it's for Coconut Network. And this is one of the things that they've used Coconut Network. And this is relative because it's somewhat of a similar type of dynamic that Coconut Network used for Gitcoin in a funding round. And I'm not going to go into details, but they used Unlock Protocol for basically awarding badges or NFTs for people that contributed to their project via Gitcoin and the Gitcoin rounds. So one of the things that I did here was I actually responded here and I was like, hey, congrats on the success. Do you have a blog post? Because I was looking to better understand how that they used that, and they actually provided a nice reply as far as how that they're using Unlock. So, and this is one of the things that I think that we should absolutely do, because one of the things that I would like to see is use this Biddle on Polygon as a mechanism for functionally onboarding people into Gigs Go Green as far as a DAO. And so I'm going to just read this first right here. We airdrop a recognition NFT badge after every Gitcoin round and use that as a key to provide them access to our Charmverse workspace so that they can look at our progress. So this is a benefit that they provide. I'm not sure what Charmverse is. This might be an opportunity for us to explore. And this is the great thing about like having conversations like this, is that very, very quickly, you know, this is a new opportunity for us to potentially explore where we don't have to reinvent the wheel. So the other one, Green Founders Community. Once we launch it in public, Q1 2024, membership will have a 3-month time lock that can only be extended by the Green Founders Moloch DAO non-voting token that doubles as internal currency of this highly aligned group of founders. So this is one of the things too that we want to be thoughtful about, because we want people in our community that are ideally active and engaged and stuff like that. Now, early on, I think it's absolutely imperative that we really demonstrate some traction. And that's one of the things that I really believe this Quest in combined with the other thing will do. And one of the things, like I'm gonna kind of go off on another tangent. This is something that talked a little bit about. So I did create a Gigs Go Green space right here. So I was actually the first person that joined. And this is something that I did since our office hours just last week. And let me provide a link for everybody here. And this is relevant because we're going to start having more conversations, because we're at a very early point within what we're building. One of the more critical things that we, myself, Tyler, and Amy as co-founders are needing to do, and this is one of the things within Snapshot is pretty fabulous, is that you can have this be like Gigs Go Green is going to be functionally a sub-DAO for this movement that we're creating. And Web3 Freedom Club DAO, right now, the way that we're positioning Web3 Freedom Club is more of like an incubator and think tank. Like the main goal that we've got here basically for 2024 is to launch our tri-co-op Am I back again? If the library's Wi-Fi is consistently this poor, I don't know if this location is going to be very viable for hosting these or not. Anyway, what I was wanting to show is the operating agreement that we've got in a draft. This is one of the things that I'm going to load up. Hopefully that will be the last drop that I have. Again, apologies. Tyler or Amy, did you have a chance to look through the
Okay, well, while we're waiting for Jason to come back, I think he was asking about the operating agreement. So, Amy, did you get a chance to take a look at that? Amy?
No, not really.
Okay, well, if you can take a look at that this afternoon, and then anybody else who wants it, we can share it with you. But we need to get that finalized so we can get the bank account opened. And I'm not sure if that was on Jason's agenda to take the vote to open the bank account, but I've got um the money that we are going to fund it sitting in my personal account, and I don't want to send a personal wire. I'm trying to do a better job with the books than we have done with the Lone Star token and some of the other stuff. So we're gonna try and get that done this afternoon. But make any comments here in the next couple hours on it, and then if you don't have any, we're just gonna finalize that, knock it out for the bank account, and get that going. Um,
Where is the link on the operating agreement? Is it on the LinkedIn or on here in our?
I don't know where he put it. I'll ask him when he got back. I don't know if he sent to you an email or in Google Drive, but when he
Okay.
comes back on, I'll ask him where it is. So we'll get that going.
Okay.
And then does anybody else want to take a look at it, or do you guys, or does it matter? Brooke, here, shh, mommy's on the phone. Sorry, my toddler's trying to get me to do a puzzle with her, so that's what we're doing right now.
I got it in the mail. I can take a look through it, and just see if there's anything that comes up. If you want, I can ask AI to take a look at it too. I don't know if you guys want that put into an AI prompt though. I can keep it out of there too, whatever you guys think is proper.
I'm fine with it because I think Jason's planning on build everything in public, so I don't know what difference it would make to be an AI since it's gonna be public record anyway, and the blockchain and wherever.
Well, I've put my own operating agreements in there and it's found a couple holes, so it's worth the extra analysis if the document can go in it.
Yeah, I think that's smart. No, don't pull that off. Yeah, I think that's smart, Nick. I never thought about AI, although I actually have drafted some initial stuff on ChatGPT, and then I usually edit it, but I hadn't thought about doing it in reverse. But I think it's a good idea.
Cool. I can put it in there. I'll let you guys, I'll share the link out to what it comes back with.
Sure. The other thing is is everybody familiar with Mercury.com?
I'm not.
They're an internet bank that I can't remember who the back end is, but they're like FDIC, they're a bank, and they're specifically designed for crypto related businesses. You can pay in fiat, you can pay in crypto, you can convert back and forth. We really haven't found any other business solutions that are open to working with DAOs and are not throwing red flags every time we do something in crypto. So hopefully we can get approved for Mercury.com account, and then that's what we're going to use as the company's bank, and then that'll be for bills that we have to pay in fiat, and then hopefully we can do everything else in a small hot wallet and then a Gnosis safe.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's nice to have something like that. There was what was it? There was some kind of debit card that got around some of that stuff too. I'll have to see if I can find it. I think there was a Wyoming-based company, and it was because they were like a DAO LLC, they were able to get around some of this, but I don't recall exactly how all that worked. I'll see if I can dig that up too.
Yeah, that'd be good. The other thing is, I'm not sure what all Jason wanted to discuss on the HeroX. We do have a hard stop here at 1 o'clock Mountain to get another call, so I want to go ahead and get through the rest of the agenda. But the dwork.xyz is where we've been putting all of our tasks in, and that's what we're going to be moving towards is task-based rewards for tokens and projects. And right now we've been creating and fulfilling a lot of the tasks ourselves. We would love for you guys to engage in that. Suggestions for tasks, and obviously fill whatever you want. So we're trying to move everything over to dwork. I don't know what Jason had put in. Oh, what's that?
I did make it. Yeah. I had to uncouple from the Wi-Fi. That was too problematic.
Well, did you hear me talking about Mercury.com? I just went through that with everybody.
No, thanks for picking up the audio with me dropping off.
Yeah, no problem. So Jason, 2 follow-up tasks for you. Can you shoot everybody on the call link to the operating agreement? I couldn't remember where it was, if it was in Google Drive or if somewhere else, whatever. But Nick had offered to dump the operating agreement in an AI tool and ask for a quick review, see if it could find any holes. So that's a good idea. And then we had mentioned that we're going to use Mercury plus Gnosis Safe for the other. I wasn't sure what you had in mind for this dwork thing or the prize, but we've only got 4 minutes till the next call.
Yeah, and the next call is available if anybody else wants to participate in it as well. It's with Hedgie.finance, and let me actually throw in the link. Hedgie.finance is a smart contract platform for token investing, which is very relevant to what we're doing because we're looking to raise 3 buckets of up to 5 million, which will all involve security tokens, and we'll have having better tools for using that. But let me grab that link here real quick for everybody. And I threw in the link there in the chat for and the operating agreement. The draft is on GitHub, and this was a operating agreement that we created, that we put quite a bit of effort into with Retoken when we set up Retoken as a DAO. It's not something, I think the biggest opportunity is to run it through some eyes from a legal standpoint. And that's something that we've got, and that reminds me, I still need to get the email to Yev Muchnik, who is excited about participating from a Web3 and DAO attorney standpoint. She's licensed here in Colorado. I don't know how much that she'll be able to contribute because we're with us forming our DAO as a Wyoming DAO LLC. Now, our publicly traded companies for the security token offering, those are going to be Colorado Public Benefit Corporations. We've had some conversations in the past about the governance with going through the B Corp process. With our timeline right now, that's something that have kicked to January. There's so much different opportunity for anybody that wants to contribute, and however that you would like to contribute, reach out to me and we can have some side conversations. And then really, because I know that what we're doing right now is like we're a whirlwind and like we've got a lot of stuff going, and that's one of the things that we're really trying to dial in and focus on some mini projects like this Biddle on Polygon grant to really get some momentum and get people into our community where we can start having some additional human capital. And that's really what I'm hoping to garner here with this Gigs Go Green and this Questin event in conjunction with the Polygon Village grant opportunity, is to get some human capital in board that we can leverage to really get all the things organized. And like content is a big aspect in getting more written content. And that's not one of the things that I'm great at. It's something that I can do well when I focus on it. It's just not something that I normally take the time to be intentional about. But we've only got a minute left. That Google Meet is literally starting in a minute right now, and that's the hedgy conversation. It's only a 15-minute conversation. So anybody want to say anything else before we bring this meeting to an end right now today?
Hey, great job getting this all organized, babe.
Well, thanks for hopping in with my technical difficulties here at the library. I'll have to ask the people here at the library if a hardwired Ethernet. I do see some Ethernet ports on there, but thanks for hopping in there, Tyler. And I'll ask them about that before I leave, because this is, I think, a great opportunity to use this specific branch library just from a proximity standpoint with the entire Denver area. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and bring the meeting to an end and hop on the Google Meet. We'll catch up. And last final thing, we'll do a let us meet for our next working group. With the timeline that we're on, we're going to try to condense some timeframes here so that we can move this forward. But thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye, everybody.